there's an acronym that says WIN, what's important now. And that's what we focus on, right? Like what's the most important thing, the number one thing that we have to do that's more important than anything else. And then who's gonna take ownership of that? And then what's the next one after that, and then we started delegating, and that's it actually started working pretty good.
Let's go. We are back, guys. We are back. Sales Talk with Solar Pros. We've got a sick special episode today. We've got special guests. We've got Angel Monroy, the leader of the pack from Latin Solar Convención. We've got Héctor García, and we've got Kevin Silva on the line. What's up, boys?
How you doing, my friend? ¿Cómo están?
Let's go. You guys just finished up the Dallas meetup last night, right?
Yes, this is the man. This is the prepare everything for Latin Solar Tour right here in Dallas, El Paso. And it's coming more things, more huge things.
I'm surprised you guys are not hungover, or at least you don't seem to be.
Tired of anything.
Love it. So look, on today's episode, we want to talk about collaboration. I think collaboration within solar is something that not a lot of people take advantage of. When you do take advantage of it, there's incredible benefits. We've seen how collaboration has skyrocketed the launch of the Latin Solar Convention in such little time, like 6 months, right? Blown up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. So we'll tell you a little bit about how Latin Solar got started, a little bit about the story, and how literally collaboration is what's making this possible. So Angel right here, he's the brains pretty much behind the operation. He's the one that had the idea. We actually met at SolarCon, right, Angel? We met at SolarCon.
Yes. Yeah. It's my inspiration.
Yes. So thank you to Jake. Jake Hess for putting SolarCon together. He literally inspired Angel, number one. And then I met Angel. We started talking over there at SolarCon, and Angel tells me, hey, imagine if we could have SolarCon in Spanish, all in Spanish. And so when I heard him, I'm like, man, you're crazy. I just met you, and putting an event this big is just huge, right? It's just so much work, and we just met. But I could feel Angel's genuine desire to actually do something for the Latin community. And so, you know, one thing that I learned is there's dreamers, there's doers, but you don't always find dreamers that are doers as well. And that's what I saw.
You guys came up with this idea at SolarCon or before?
No, at SolarCon.
At SolarCon, wow! Like this SolarCon or the one last year?
No, this one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's only a few months ago.
I was thinking about this. I remember being on him. Like I remember taking him and Marco Ramirez at that time. We had gone to SolarCon 1, and we walked in there. I think the first person I hear talk about the venue, he was just like, "Why is there something like this for Spanish?" And I think he's been dragging this on since that day, probably in SolarCon 1, that has been in his head to get this going. So it was interesting to me to hear as well, just like Héctor in the second SolarCon that we all attended, all of us right now on the call, him say again, now I'm actually doing, I already got this bunch, I'm doing this. Would you guys want to? And I'm like, holy crap, this guy's actually going through with it. So that was the birth of my support towards this event too. And I actually saw 2 years of this guy really still wanted to push this concept. And I'm like, all right, this is probably happening at this point. And this guy's committed.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. People are going to look back on these live streams where the idea is still almost like being put together. We haven't even had the Latin Solar Convention yet, right? So you guys are literally the forefathers of, you know, a huge movement that's about to happen. I think once the event actually happens, people are going to be like, holy shit, there's actually a lot more Latinos inside solar than I thought.
Well, it happened to me because I mean I didn't know Angel, right? Angel and Kevin that really have met before I met him, and I didn't even know this was something that it was on Angel's heart before. It was news to me at SolarCon, and so Angel told me, "What do you think? Should we do it? Should we jump on it?" And I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." So there's another guy, my business partner Fernando. He was with us at the time, and Amos Navarro. He's another guy also that is very involved in this, kind of like behind the scenes. And so, man, Angel inspired us. So he believed it, we believed him. And then we start the journey of literally collaborating and starting to get working on what is it that we need to do to accomplish this. But I just want to give recognition to Angel because I seen how hard he's been working. We've all been working really, really hard. But at the end of the day, he is the one that has been taking the biggest responsibility, right? The one that is like running 1,000 miles per hour. And so it's been fun, definitely, to see how this is evolving from just being a dream, right? And just thinking like, what if it's possible to have something that is completely in Spanish? Because then you jump into the issues of, well, nothing's translated. All the solar training academies are in English, right? We had MOD, we had Knoxter University, Solar University, like everything is in English. And if you know, and you've been here in the States, a lot of solar reps are not having access to all the knowledge. There's a lot of people selling solar that don't really understand how things work or tax credits, etc. And so now getting the concept of let's translate everything into Spanish and let's do the first ever convention fully in Spanish. And so we just had a dream. We started working on that, and then we started collaborating amongst ourselves. We started talking to different people, and then we get a phone call from go ahead, Angel.
Yo quiero, can you translate nation for me, please? I want quiero dejar a Héctor encargado de este live, porque para mí todos los que estamos colaborando, los que están colaborando con esta idea son súper importantes. Y él que habla bien inglés, quiero que transmita lo que me gustaría transmitir porque me conoce, sabe lo que estamos haciendo. Yo los voy a dejar. Quería que saludaran a Kevin porque Kevin es el que está haciendo posible, obviamente, toda la colaboración de Latin Solar Tours y el reconocimiento, obviamente, es para él, ¿verdad? Pero yo quiero dejarte a ti, Héctor, para no estar interrumpiendo, porque yo sé que, como dice John Maxwell, llega el momento que el líder estorba, tienes que dejar a los líderes trabajar, y yo creo que este es el momento. Muchachos, los dejo, si me pueden traducir, para que extiendan el público, se los voy a agradecer.
Love it, my man. Thanks for jumping on, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Angel. Appreciate it, brother. So yeah, basically Angel was just saying that you know, his English is not that great, and he's saying that he wanted me to take over this live. I've been working hand to hand with Angel, so I literally know his heart and where everything is going. And so just going back to what we were saying, right? There's a lot of people involved in this, and one thing that I've seen about Angel is that he's not the guy that wants to take all the credit. And talking about collaboration, I think that's what it takes. A lot of times egos get on the way. Yeah. And a lot of times somebody wanting to be the main guy is what prevents us from actually being able to collaborate. I know that you have a lot of experience, Carlos, also collaborating. What is something that in your opinion has worked for you regarding collaboration?
Dude, I think collaboration helps you move faster. You know, I have a belief that you can move slow, you can be really careful, you can do everything by yourself, and you just move really slow, right? Or you can move fast, you can collaborate with, you know, a bunch of partners, or, you know, it's going to help you move much faster because you got more people on the team moving towards like the one vision. And it's going to give you the chance to find out whether or not it works. And it's better to find out whether or not something works within 1 week rather than a whole year going past and finding out that it doesn't work and you've just wasted a whole bunch of time on that one thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. That's the fact right there. That's the same thing I was going to say. Is to me is speed and growth, right? But also when you're collaborating, the other thing that happens, you build synergy. And synergy is what actually helps you expand to another levels, to another horizons. And then you start innovating, then you start problem solving a lot faster. If I'm dealing with something on my own, and that's something else that happens too with Jake Hess, right? Going back to Latin Solar, he gave us a call because he heard about Latin Solar, and he's thinking like, hey, what's going on here, right? So he called us to find out what was going on, because some sponsors were calling him, asking him, hey, we heard something about a solar convention. Is you? Who is it? And then he was just being responsible and trying to figure out who's talking to sponsors. And then he eventually got to us. We started talking to Jake about what this was. And we told Jake, man, this is something completely different than SolarCon. This is something that we want to do for the Latinos completely in Spanish. We know it's going to be a challenge to get people to translate things into Spanish, but we're up for the challenge. And Jake was super cool, man. He started telling us like, hey, this is the things that you have to look into. Be careful with these things. These are the surprises that you're going to get ahead of the game. So in day one, we got a huge perspective of what we're going to face, right?
Yeah. Because
we collaborated with Jake. And so
when,
that kind of
when was day one? What was what date is day one? Because I think like not many people realize here, like this isn't something that's been planned for like 2 years and it's been marketed for the last 2 years. Like you guys decided to do this at the last SolarCon in Utah, and that was in May. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when was day one?
Day one was like a week after SolarCon. So we started like doing everything a week after. That's day 0 actually. And so like a week or 2 weeks ago, I can remember, that's when Jay called us and he told us, hey man, I'm open to support you guys, whatever you guys need. Any questions you have, give me a call, I'll be available. So that was pretty cool. That gave us a lot of comfort as well, just knowing that, hey, if this guy that is at this level already, being so open and genuine to help us out and share the knowledge that he has, right? That was pretty cool on his end. Then we started, assigning roles. So we started delegating who's going to do what, and started planning, calling, making phone calls, like where are we going to do it, what city, what state. And we started going over so many different variables. And I saw a quote the other day that I really, really like. And he says, we're doing this not because it's easy, but because we thought it was going to be easy. So
I'm sure like you guys got really excited on the idea. You sat down and like, all right, we're going to do this. And you came back a week later, you're like, holy shit, like this is actually much harder than what we thought.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, we knew it was going to be super hard, but every week it's just a new challenge that you got to overcome. The cool thing is that when you're collaborating with a team of leaders and people with genuine hearts that are willing to go 1,000 miles per hour and face any challenge and overcome it, and it makes things easier. And I think the team at Latin Solar is what's making this possible. It's just there's a bunch of people behind the scenes that are working nonstop. As you can tell, obviously we don't have that much time to plan everything. But what was so cool, man, is that we started talking to sponsors about the idea, and everybody automatically, on the English market and the Spanish market, everybody automatically said, man, dude, we've been waiting for something like this to happen, but it's just not that easy for somebody to put it together, right?
Yeah,
Even
man.
Jake told us, man, I wish I would have done this for all the Latinos in Spanish, but Jake is like, I don't speak Spanish. Like, I don't understand the culture the same way that you guys do. And so, and I think that he's been helpful. Everybody has been helpful. We talked to a lot of different speakers, and these guys are like, hey, I don't speak Spanish, but I'm willing to go with a translator and whatever it is that we can do, man, just to get all the knowledge translated into Spanish. So now we have Michael O'Donnell. We talked to him. He's like, hey, you know what? I don't know how, but I'm going to get my book translated fully in Spanish before the convention. And I'm going to get my training, MOD Academy translated into Spanish. And so, man, when we heard that, we just got so excited and happy just to feel the support. And he did, man. He already had the MOD Academy. He has subtitles already. So that's fully on in Spanish.
Yeah.
And then his book is going to be ready for Latin Solar fully in Spanish as well.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's incredible.
Estamos convencidos de que una revolución ha iniciado en el mundo. Con pasos firmes está llegando a cada rincón del planeta. De Latinoamérica para el mundo nace Latin Solar Convención. Más allá del suceso, más allá del evento, es un movimiento que representa decenas de banderas que unen sus fuerzas, su potencia bajo un mismo idioma. La industria solar en los Estados Unidos está emergiendo con una fuerza impresionante, llegando a millones de hogares a transformar vidas, a cambiar percepciones, a construir una energía limpia y sustentable, no solo por el bien de nuestro país, sino por el futuro de nuestro planeta. La misión es mucho más grande de lo que puedes imaginar. Latin Solar Convención, la primera convención en español liderada por latinos reales, con convicción, con certezas que mueven los corazones hacia un mismo destino, hacia un mismo propósito. Te invito a que juntos escribamos la historia al ser pioneros de este evento sin precedentes. 25 y 26 de octubre. Conferencias, exponentes, presentaciones, networking, todo lo que tu negocio solar está pidiendo y está necesitando para el mercado latino en los Estados Unidos. No te lo puedes perder. Es el aquí y el ahora. Somos muchos países en una sola nación, con una misma visión. Latin Solar Convención. Somos uno.
Angel was saying, man, like there's all these academies, there's all these universities, there's so much knowledge. But you know, the gate that the Latinos need to go through is, number one, getting access to it, but number two is translating a lot of the terminology in there to be used, you know, on Spanish sales as well. So
Yes.
look, I've organized birthday parties. I've organized, you know, different events, nothing, you know, too big. Like I think the biggest event that I organized was maybe like 20, 30 people. Dude, that's stressful, man. You know, thinking of the venue, getting the balloons, organizing the cake, sending out the invites, doing the RSVP. I can't imagine like the level, because it's like, it's in Vegas, right? You got to have the venue.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got to put down like a deposit. You got to fund, you know, you got to balance that with how many people say they're interested compared to how many people are actually going to buy tickets. What's been like the most challenging stuff that you guys have encountered so far?
Definitely, in full transparency, is putting the money up front, right? You're having this dream, you don't have any guarantees that it's going to work out, and you got to be all in, literally. Like you have to get out of your money and put it as a deposit and start making these contracts and commitments. We're talking about thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get started, right? And there's no guarantee first time you're doing the events. And I think that's been the most scary part, because at the beginning, like nobody knows who you are. Like it's not like we were Jake Hess and we had trainings and we were known in the community, right? It's just like, hey, this is Angel, Héctor, Kevin, like a bunch of guys that nobody knows who they are, right? And these crazy guys just having an idea and putting it together. And so I think one of the biggest things has been the marketing that is helping us go from, we made all these investments and we're doing all this work, but nobody knows about it. So we need to let the whole world know about it, like fast, build credibility, build a brand. And we had to do it literally within less than a month so that we can actually get people's attention and then start building that community, right? And the success in that is being literally collaboration. These events is happening not because Angel is working like crazy or me or Kevin or anybody else. Literally, I can tell you from my heart that is all the Latinos, everybody, man, is getting involved in this. This is not like our event. This is like the Latinos events. Like everybody has played a part, right? Like all the influencers, you, man, you're being a huge part of this as well. So thank you for everything you're doing, man. It's just literally a teamwork. So it's so exciting.
Dude, that's crazy, man. Yeah, because I remember when I first landed in Medellin was when I, like 2 or 3 days after I had come back from, about 2 weeks after SolarCon, I started seeing the lives that Angel was doing. In fact, I didn't even have Angel on my Instagram. I didn't have the Latin Solar page on my Instagram. I saw other people being tagged in his lives because he started going live with other people. I'm like, And I saw it once at Latin Solar Convention. I'm like, and I ignored it, right? I'm like, because I didn't know what it was. Came up a second time, clicked on it. I'm like, that's interesting. I wonder what that is. So I click on it and I jump on a live and then I message the actual page. I'm like, hey, my name's Carlos. I run a big Facebook group. I'd love to collaborate and, do some sort of promotion. Now, Angel doesn't have Facebook, man. I don't know if you realize, like, he's not very active on Facebook. Well, he wasn't anyway, he is now. So I don't think he knew the audience that I had. So he was like, what's your name? Yeah, we'll chat another day. I'm like, oh shit, like, I'm gonna get in front of this guy because I'm Latino. Everyone in my group, like the majority is English speaking. We don't have many Latinos in there. And the ones that do, like, we need something like this. I'm like, I've got to get this out to my people. You know what I mean? And then we ended up connecting. We're like, oh shit, this is what we can do for each other. Dude, let's collaborate, man, because we're both going to benefit on this. And I think like one of the ways to begin collaborating is approach the relationship without wanting anything in return. Just like approach with a ton of value. And even if you don't get anything in return, like you haven't made like a specific list, I'm like, these are the things that I want in return. Just that law of reciprocity prepares you for the next opportunity.
100%, man. Those are facts right there. There's a quote that says, come from contribution. And actually, I just want to mention something. Everybody probably already knows by now the book of Think and Grow Rich, right? Yeah. So Napoleon Hill wrote the book, but the book came from an interview that he did with Andrew Carnegie, right? At that point was the richest man in the world. And there's another book that a lot of people don't know about that is before Think and Grow Rich, which is called How to Increase Your Own Salary. And that's a book
how to increase your what?
How to increase your own salary.
Oh, wow. Okay. By Carnegie?
And so, yes, it's by Napoleon Hill. But the thing about that book is that most people will never read that book, because if you're an entrepreneur already and you're already thinking like a business guy or sales guy, you're not going to try to increase your salary because you're working basically on commissions, right? But that book is the actual interview between Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie. And one of the things that Andrew Carnegie says, he says, and I'll read it. He says, the secret of success lies not in doing your own work, but in recognizing the right man to do it. And so what he talks about, he says, like, you need to build a mastermind of collaboration, because none of us as humans, we're not complete. There's not somebody that is 100% emotionally stable, because businesses are challenging. This convention has been challenging, and nobody's going to be 100% solid in their emotional intelligence. How about knowledge, skills, you name it, right? And what Andrew Carnegie says, you need to find a group of people that are going to cover those gaps that you have in your skills, knowledge, experience, emotional intelligence. And once you do that, you form a complete mind that can think on every single angle possible. And I think that's what's been happening here at Latin Solar, is like, hey, I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. And Angel is the same way. And with the team of people that we have putting this together and collaborating, this is how it's happening. Now, one thing that we learned, Angel, he has a huge background in working on radio stations and also putting events together. So it's not like he's never done this before. He used to work, I forgot the name of the company, but he used to do concerts and other things. So he has experience on doing events this big now, or bigger actually. But never for business, like for, trainings and conventions. Is more like for singers, right?
Yeah.
And so when he started this, one thing that we have found out is that when you're collaborating, like for example, you and I right now, people that follow you are going to see me and be like, hey, who's this guy? I'm gonna follow this guy. So we're exchanging value and audiences as well. And that's what's been happening through influencers that are supporting Latin Solar, right? And that's how it got so big so fast, because we focus not on just ads, Facebook ads. Actually, we haven't even run Facebook ads yet. We're barely going to start. Right? So literally all this is organic.
Yeah, dude, that's insane. Let's talk about the team, because when we start a company, most people start by themselves. They wear every hat: sales, marketing, accounting, administration, customer service. They're literally everything. Whereas you guys had to form the team like really fast, rapidly. How big is the team now? And how did you guys choose the right people for the team?
Well, originally, when this barely got started on day zero, it was Angel. He was the leader that got all of us together and told us about his idea. It was me, my business partner. I own a marketing company. So my business partner, Amos Navarro from Disruptive Systems, he obviously jumped on board. And then Fernando Zavala, he's my other business partner on my solar company, which is Eco Energy Solutions. And then Angel had Valentina, his girlfriend, who is freaking brilliant. And it was literally just us. And then Miguel Torres from We Solar. He was involved at the beginning, then he had to step out for business reasons, and he was growing his team and stuff. He's still supporting us, but we were the initial people, right, at the beginning. And so as we started, you know, you can imagine the chaos of these are like all the things we have to do. And then we have this amount of people, and organization is where it's at. We immediately identify, hey, what are you good at? Who can take care of these things? We started delegating, and then we started using different softwares like Notion and Canva just to organize really fast. Hey, what's the most important thing we have to do right now? There's an acronym that says WIN, what's important now? And that's what we focus on, right? Like, what's the most important thing, the number one thing that we have to do that's more important than anything else? And then who's going to take ownership of that? And then what's the next one after that? And then we started delegating, and it actually started working pretty good.
Wow, man. Aside from putting up the money up front, and we'll talk about that in a moment as well, what else has been like a major challenge where it's almost like brought you guys to a halt, where you didn't know whether or not it was able to be solved? If any.
I don't think we have been at that point. I think that since we started, I mean, obviously it's scary, and it's stressful, very stressful. But since the beginning, we have felt the support, because as soon as we started putting it out there, everybody started saying like right away, like, man, we've been waiting for this. We're so excited. And, you know, all the Latinos in the solar industry, which I didn't even know how many Latinos there are in the solar community. Yeah. Everybody like started messaging like, hey, I want to be a part of it. How can I help? And it's just the support has been overwhelming. So I don't really think that we've been in a situation where it's like, man, this is not going to happen. Since the beginning, it's been scary, right? And a lot of effort and a lot of work, because we literally have worked around the clock, like at night, like 1, 2 a.m., just building marketing materials. We built a website. We built a website like in maybe like 3-4 hours. We just put it together like really fast. Yeah, it's just like speed, right? Like fast. And so, yeah.
Well, the best thing is speed, man. Now, did you guys have to get, so when we're starting businesses, you know, one of the limits or one of the resources that limits us from growing is money, right? How are we going to market? How are we going to, you know, buy merch? How are we going to, you know, buy this and this and this, because we don't have the money. Now, you guys were facing like hundreds and thousands of dollars of upfront capital that needed to be put out from day one. How did you guys get that together? Was there investors involved? Did you have to raise money? Did you guys just pool, you know, all your own money together? What did that look like?
Yeah, essentially, you would want to build the sponsorships, and out of sponsorships, you pay that. That's how it normally works. But when you're a new event and nobody knows who you are, right? Nobody even knows if your event is actually going to happen. Yeah. You don't have that option, right? There's nobody that is going to trust in Joe Smoke that just came out of nowhere and has these crazy ideas, right? There's a lot of dreamers, but when you're talking to big organizations that want to sponsor you, I mean, they got to file taxes, they got to have accounting, like there's a process for that. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to invest money just because. They want to make sure that it's going to be a good investment in the industry. And so, yeah, we have to start putting out of our own money. We did the math. We started saying like, hey, who can usually, it was everything 100% on us. And then now after we started getting our name out there and started like getting big names to sponsor us, then everybody else started feeling comfortable. And once people realize that we're a legitimate organization and everything is actually being run properly, and it's a good event and it's a lot of response. This is really, we are even impressed on how big this got. We didn't think it was going to be this big, because not only the Latino community wanted to be part of, but also a lot of people in the English speaking community want to be part of. You know, we have installers, we have manufacturers, we have people from other industries that they recognize that the Spanish speaking market is massive, right? We're talking about approximately 47 million people in the United States that only speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
47, right. So it's huge. And so now everybody wants to be a part of it.
It sounds like everything boils back down to sales, right? Because everything in life is a sale. It sounds like, number one, you guys had to sell yourselves on the vision. So you had the visionary, which was, you know, it sounds like it's Angel, who's like, oh, I've got this crazy freaking idea. We're going to do, you know, a Latino version of SolarCon. We're going to get 2,000 people all across America and across the world into Las Vegas. We need sponsors. Yeah. Let's start dialing. How did you guys even get in touch with the right decision makers at the companies that you wanted sponsorships for? Like, what did that process look like?
Well, we've been in the solar industry for a long time, so it's not like we were new to the solar industry. So we already had, you know, connections and contacts, you know, and so it wasn't that difficult to actually get to the gate. I mean, to pass the gatekeeper. Literally, it was just a bunch of phone calls, and it's funny because even when we face the gatekeepers and we tell them, hey, this is what we're doing. This is not like SolarCon, like, you know, Jake, we honor him for everything he has accomplished. He was our inspiration. This is a completely different event. He is supporting us. He's been, you know, supporting us all this time. And that's why we're co-branding on SolarCon. But this is a completely different kind of event, right? We're still talking about solar, but it's just going to be different. But the cool thing is that even the gatekeepers said, like, no way, are you guys freaking doing this only in Spanish? Like, everything's going to be in Spanish. We're like, yeah, I don't know how, but we're gonna either translate or get AI to translate, but we're gonna make it happen. And so it was not that difficult, to be honest. And I think it's because the solar industry already wanted this in Spanish, but it just hadn't happened, right? So I think that when people noticed that it was going on, a lot of people were open to listen to us, even though they didn't know us. And once they saw the structure that we actually secure the event, the venue with our own money, it's like, hey, your liability as an investor or as a sponsor in this event is just way low, because we secure everything with our own capital. And so really there's no risk for you as a sponsor, right?
Yeah. Awesome, man. So the event is on the 24th and the 25th of October, right?
Correct.
Yeah. How many people are you expecting, or how many people can the venue actually fit?
Well, the venue is insanely big. It's I don't know if it's about the size of SolarCon, but we can feed thousands of people. So we are prepared for a reasonable amount of people, but we're also ready for a huge amount, right? So we didn't know what to expect at the beginning. So one thing that we did too is that just like with the quote that I was talking about, Andrew Carnegie, right? We realized the reach of abilities that we have in an organization. So we actually hire a company that specializes on Las Vegas on organizing events. And they're the experts getting all the legalities ready, like all the restrictions that you need to have in the event. Also, Las Vegas is I forgot the word, but it's they have a certain way of doing things. So it's not easy to do an event in Las Vegas if you don't understand how a union, that's a word. So they have
a union.
Yeah. And so that's a huge challenge if you never work with the union. And
it's like a HOA. You got to get HOA approval.
pretty much. And so we have a big team, right, of people that are handling that side of the venue. And we're pretty much just overseeing and making sure that everything is according to that. But yeah, we're going to have the ability, we can easily feed 3,000-4,000 people in the events, maybe more.
Wow. And how many tickets have you guys already sold, and how many do you want to sell?
So I don't know the number. Angel is the one overseeing that, but it's starting to gain traction. Right now we have the 50% off amount on the tickets. So a lot of people are starting to take advantage of that. And this is a good information for everyone, right? Even though we're gonna have the event in Spanish, we are going to have obviously people from the English-speaking community there. We're going to have Andy Elliott and his wife. His wife is going to be one of the main speakers, Andy Elliott as well.
And she's Mexican, right?
Yeah, I think she's from Sonora as well.
Oh, okay. And does she speak Spanish?
Yeah, she's gonna do that convention in Spanish, and it's gonna be a really cool story. She has a really cool story of how she came over to the US and overcame everything, and so it's gonna be packed of a lot of value. We also have,
she's a sales beast, man.
oh man, everybody at the Elliott team, they're freaking busy. I love their energy. I love everything they stand for. So they're pretty cool. I'm excited about that.
Love it, man.
Yeah, we also have Taylor McCarthy, that guy. He just finished his Blitz. So I think he did about 56 sales in 1 month or something like that in different cities. And he actually translated. He has a training in Spanish. He's gonna do the convention in Spanish. I think his wife is gonna be translating for him.
Yeah. She's Peruana, man, just like me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And also for everyone, he translated his knocking cards in Spanish already. So I think they're ready to sell. Yeah.
Love that, man. Well, I'm going to be there as well, dude. I've got a booth there, the Remote Solar Pro and Remote Sales Pro booth. I'll be speaking inside the VIP area on how to sell solar remotely. And half of our course is actually in Spanish. So all the same stuff that we got in English, we got it in Spanish on literally because we just sell on the phone. We don't use Zoom. We don't use Google Meet, nothing, man. We just sell. And I'm in Colombia. I haven't closed a deal in person for almost 2 years.
Wow.
So everything's been on the phone, man. And this is important as well, because by you guys doing this event and opening it up to a bigger audience, and once people see how many people attended the event, it's going to increase the importance of the Hispanic community within the solar industry. I mean, just here alone in Colombia, I think it's like double the population of Australia in Colombia. It's like 60 or 70 million, could even be 100 million. I don't know, but there's a lot of people, and the salaries here in Colombia are not that high. Everyone wants to earn American dollars, right? Yeah. And this opens it up to be able to sell into the US market, get into the solar industry, earn US dollars, and you don't even need to speak any English.
That's crazy, man. That's like a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Dude, this is once in a lifetime, man. The solar industry right now, especially for the next at least like 5 to 10 years, it's going to change a lot of people's lives. And events like this one that you guys are doing is making it known.
That we are doing, right?
That we are doing. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, man. Oh, hey, well, first of all, man, I just want to say congratulations. I've been following you and I see what you do. Like, we also have BAs that call and generate appointments for us and all that. We work a lot with Venezuela, and we have people in Mexico, Colombia. And on my marketing agency, we started with BAs 100%. We ran with BAs for 5 years. Wow. And so the team that is putting all the marketing for Latin Solar, shout out to Rivas, which is my lead designer. They're all in outside of the US. They're all Latinos.
Oh, wow, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and I think that was cool too, because we feel the vibe. Latino is a specific culture. Yeah. And if you go to a restaurant that they say it's Latino restaurant, but you can tell if it's a real
Latino restaurant. Yeah. So at SolarCon, they had music inside like the main hall. Are we gonna have like salsa, merengue, reggaeton playing?
Man, we have a huge surprise.
Dude, you need to give us a clue, man. Is it J Balvin?
No. We're actually, I wish, man, that would be awesome. But we are having a song made for Latin Solar with professionals. Yeah, so it's in the process right now. So it's gonna be out for distribution. We're gonna release it probably right before Latin Solar. I really listened to the song, and man, I just got the chills. It's just
Really?
for every Latino guy with the dream that you come over to the US or even outside of the US, right? But you're generating your income in the US, and just talks about what we go through as Latinos and how we're making it happen.
Yeah.
So man, this is gonna be fire.
What's up, guys? It's Carlos here, and hope you guys are enjoying this podcast. Really quickly wanted to jump in here and say that over the last year or so, I've helped hundreds of door-to-door guys, salespeople transition into remote solar sales. Now, the number one problem that I found is the amount of capital that is required for someone who is in door-to-door or a salesperson to need to invest to be able to move into the remote sales world. What are those capital intensive things? The first thing is you need a dialer. Second is you need a CRM. Third is you need the leads. The leads alone are going to cost you at best $1 each. Most expensive ones can be anywhere from $5 to $10. And if you're generating Facebook leads, these could be up to, $40, $50, even $60 a pop. So it can get pretty expensive to set up your own operation. If you then want to build a team, you then need to hire people, you need to have build a culture, you need to start building a community. So everything stacks up in terms of time, in terms of money. So what we've done to solve that problem is we've created a team. This is an internal team called Remote Sales Pro. This is a team that you can apply to join. And what we do is we handle everything. So we give you the dialer, we give you the CRM, we give you a team of experts and managers that will help you close the deals as well. We even include up to 350,000 leads that we preload into the dialer. So all you need to do is apply. If you're chosen, you just go through a quick training course, and then from day 3, you're dialing and you're making sales. So if you're interested in learning more about the Remote Sales Pro team, all you need to do is go click on the link below. It's remotesalespro.org/apply. Fill in your details, register for the next webinar, which happens every single Wednesday at 12:30 Eastern. Attend the webinar. We'll tell you all about the opportunity. We'll tell you how you can apply, and we're really, really excited to see you there. So guys, continue watching the podcast. Super excited to continue creating content for you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's roll. You know what would be super cool, man? Have you guys thought about getting any Latino celebrities to the event?
That might happen. We don't know as a fact yet. We actually, out of every single ticket that we sell, we in Latin Solar, right, in the team, we believe, like you said, in giving back. And one thing that I have learned is in business, you're gonna get challenged, right? You're gonna have ups and downs. But if you don't find your why is it that you're doing what you're doing? If you don't have a reason that is stronger or a purpose that is stronger than yourself, it's easy to give up in times of trials and tribulations, right? But when you're laser focused and you have a purpose that is way bigger than yourself, then it's easy to say, like, you know what, I'm so tired, I'm getting all these challenges, but I'm willing to keep fighting because of my purpose. And obviously the main purpose for all of us is to provide that value to all the Latino community. But also we went a step ahead and we partner up with Freedom Fighters, which is an organization that is supporting the Operation Underground Railroad. And out of every ticket that we sell, we're gonna donate a portion to that to fight for kids in child trafficking.
Oh wow, that's huge, man.
So, yeah, man. So that really got to us. I mean, I have daughters, so I was a cop actually for 8 years.
You were a cop?
Yeah, I was a cop for 8 years.
Wow.
And I seen victims of rape, especially kids, children, and it just broke my heart in so many levels. And so being able to be a part of Latin Solar and teach everybody and connect everybody to make more money, but also to start donating money to save lives and stop child trafficking, or get to be a part of the team stopping child trafficking. It's just a huge, motivation for all of us.
Well, that's what it's all about, man. It's making an impact and influencing as much positivity as we can on the world.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to have you Latin Solar. I mean, what you're doing is everything that everybody wants to do right now. This business is mainly run by knocking doors, and sometimes you knock and 7 people knock right before you. And for a long time, sales was mainly done over the phone, right? Telemarketing. And then everything transitioned over to doors. And it's just kind of like a I feel right, like in the sales world, it goes from knocking doors to going back to the phones, then knocking doors. But I don't think that a lot of people have been able to master the art of closing virtually, whether he's doing it over a video call or doing it over the phone. And I know that there's so many Latinos hungry to figure out what is it that you are doing, Carlos, with your team. How do you do it? And I'm so excited that you're going to be there, because this is why we're doing it. So everybody can collaborate, get to you and be like, hey man, how can I be a part of your team, or how can I learn what you're doing? Right. So tell us a little bit about what is it that you're going to be teaching, or what kind of materials are you going to have available?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, the first thing is when you're closing a deal on the phone or Zoom. Now, I haven't done too much Zoom sales. I started back in a call center selling, what was it, like phone and internet plans over the phone. And we were calling like, so we have age leads in solar, right? People who opted in within like a week all the way up to 12 months. But I was working for a company about 20 years ago. Yeah, oh no, not 20 years. I'm not that old. I'm not old, like 15 years ago, right? And we were calling 10-year-old leads from a telecommunication company that the customers had left the company, like, you know, gone to another company around 10 years ago. So this is like the craziest age lead that you could get. Now I was calling them and I was saying, hey, I want you to come back to the company. We've got this offer for you. So it was like, you know, we were on a dialer all day. So that's where I learned like the art of, you know, making a connection within the first like 3 to 5 seconds, keeping someone on the phone. How do I present my offer in a way that doesn't sound spammy? How do I then close someone? How do I handle objections? So when I got into solar, I forgot about phone sales. I got into door to door. And it was almost like an accident that I had these leads and we had this office with like a roof. We had this rooftop like location that we could access for our office. And I was in there with my business partner. We had this lead. I'm like, why don't I just call it and see if I can close it? Called it. And it was my first call, man. I took it all the way, got everything signed. He accepted everything, the agreement. I'm like, all right, well, if we can do it once, we can multiply this. So that's where we started building the call center. And then we started selling into the US, and, you know, this is where we are now. So this is what we do. We have our virtual teams. We build out teams for installers. And we've also got the course as well that teaches everyone else how to sell on the phone. But at the event, I'm going to be breaking down the 9-step closing process once you have someone on the phone. I'm going to be talking about mindset, some of the mindset switches that you need to make to believe that someone is going to buy from you on the phone. Because I think the biggest thing that holds people back is because we're talking about a high ticket, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, 130,000. Most people just don't even get to step one, which is believing that someone will see enough value to sign up with you on the phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to break that whole thing down in Spanish, man, even though my Spanish is not that good, but I still close deals in Spanish, man. That's how easy it is.
Man, I'm so freaking excited. I know a lot of people that are hungry to hear what you got to say. You know, so many people want to get this, and that's going back to collaboration, right? There's another quote by Henry Ford, and I'm going to read it. He says, coming together is a beginning. Staying together is progress. And working together is success. Ooh, and so, man, that's literally what's going to happen here at Latin Solar. Talking about collaboration, that's what Latin Solar is all about. It's like, hey, how do I get Carlos from Colombia, and how do I go these guys that I'm hungry to make more sales, and I just don't even know where to start. And then all of a sudden, you guys connect at the event. They find out about your course, buy your course, get mentored by you, and all of a sudden they're going faster and faster than ever on the path to success, right? And there's going to be so many different things, right? Just getting information on what to say, how to overcome objections, like what you said, mindset. So we're going to have heavy speakers at the convention just pouring their knowledge, right? It's like you, how many years did it take you to get here? How many years of learning, trial and error? How many mistakes did you make? How many thousands of dollars did you invested to get to the point where you are right now? And I can just pay whatever your course is, and within hours, get all the knowledge that it took you 15 years, right, to get and put together just for us. So that's the collaboration, right?
Dude, this event's going to be sick. I'm going to be making a trip from Colombia to Vegas and it's just going to be one big Latino solar party, man. The after parties are going to be next level. It's just, I can't wait, man. So for those who are watching, the recording, the replay, I should say, where do they go to buy tickets?
So they can go, the easiest way to find everything is going to Instagram or Facebook. We have the links there for our website. The website is actually latinsolarconvencion.com, or they can actually write it latinsolarconvention.com. That's where we're going to have the tickets. They can actually go to the Instagram, which is Latin Solar. We have the link there as well. And so right now we have a 50% discount on all the tickets. And so it's the best time to take advantage. I know that Angel, I can't remember the day, we're going to put it on our page as well, but Angel mentioned that pretty soon we're going to reduce the discount over to 40%, and then it's just going to start decreasing until there's no more discounts at the end, right?
Love it, man. Well, I've just dropped the link in the comments of this live stream. We also have a code called, it's remote solar. For 50% off. So I'm going to drop that in here as well.
Yeah. So right now the tickets are 50% off, but if they use your code, they're going to get an additional discount.
Oh, damn, they get an additional discount. Dude, we love discounts, man.
Yeah. Heck yeah, bro. So right now the general admission is at $600, but because we have it at 50% off, right now it's only $300. And then the VIP is only $500 right now with a 50% discount. And I think before we said the days wrong, it's going to be on the October 25th and 26th.
25th and 26th. All right. We still want people rocking up a day early. They can network, they can party.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's Vegas, man. And
it's Vegas, baby.
it was a risk, right? To do it in Vegas, because everybody's thinking like, man, what if guys are hangover or girls, right? Hangover. And, they don't show up.
That happened in Utah as well.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, man, you know what? We're Latinos. That's why we have a specific times for the convention. It's a little bit different than English-speaking conventions. So we're gonna have we set it up right. The first chat is gonna start at 10 a.m. So it's like, man, you have time to go party, be hangover.
Yeah. And is this 10 a.m. Latino time? So really 12 p.m. or is it 10 a.m. on the dot?
So, regular events, they start like at 8 a.m. and open the door at 7. So that's our Latino time, right? Yeah. And I mean, it's like, hey, you know what? If you've been hustling, working hard, show up a day before, stay the day after. There's even after the convention, there's some people that are going to stay and continue to network. So this is going to be a huge opportunity, to find across the world, not just the United States, but just yourself. You're in Colombia. So literally to connect across the world. People are doing amazing things. There's people working with AI, doing crazy things, right? I've been experimenting with AI too, and it's just crazy what you can get done. Some people that are working with systems. I've seen that a lot of people in the Latino community, they're lacking technology because all the softwares are in English. So we've been talking to a lot of people that provide softwares, and we're telling them, hey, when can you translate this into Spanish? Right. And so there's some tech companies already working in translating their softwares in Spanish. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Dude, I love it, man. I love this chat, all about collaboration. Love it, dude. Well, I want to say thank you for jumping on. We had Angel as a special guest earlier today. How do people find you on social media? How can they follow you?
They can follow me at Instagram or Facebook, Héctor García Official.
Love it, my bro. All right, my man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Brother, thank you for everything you're doing for Latin Solar, brother. We appreciate you and all your team, brother. Thank you.
You too, my man. I'll catch you later, brother.
Yeah.